What the hell did you just say?
Hey! We're recording the podcast! Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning somewhere!
for June 27th, 2025. My name is Bernie Burns. Oh, breathe a sigh of relief. She's back. Ashley Burns. Say hi to Ashley, everybody.
And welcome home, Bernie.
So the secret to being on the podcast is come stay at our house, and then we'll put you on the podcast. Last couple of days, we've had Scott on the podcast, which is always entertaining. Feedback has been all over the place. We've gotten comments that have said that Scott is tearing apart the fabric of society and our democracy as we know it, ranging from that all the way to, wow, I can't believe I'm not changing my worldview from the guy sleeping on the floor of the bus.
You know, it's important to note as well. Am I wrong here? He took a bus here from the Netherlands.
Yes.
Right. So we were recently in the Netherlands, Bernie, and we got to the Netherlands by taking a direct plane flight. It was like an hour flight, right? We just have to basically cross the water, right? So we just fly across the water
because there's a body of water between those two places.
Yeah, and then boom, there you are. There's Netherlands. It was an hour. Did he spend 30 hours to take a bus 4 countries?
Yeah, I think it was 5 countries that he went through. If you include the first and last ones. Yeah, 5 countries altogether, I think.
That's a very long bus ride.
It was a very convoluted way to get to his destination. There's a metaphor in there somewhere, Ashley. We took a straight line to ours.
So 30-hour deal.
We took Occam's itinerary is what we took. But anyway, so welcome back, Ashley. Everyone is glad to have you back on the podcast.
Thank you. I need
Did you enjoy your break?
I did, but I have to inform you that during this 24-hour window that you were gone, Bernie, my entire personality is now based around one singular thing, and that is K-pop Demon Hunter.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the pictures of JD Vance memes on your phone, hopefully, because I want to travel with you, so hopefully you've deleted
I want to
all
be able
those.
to get back into America. Thank you very much.
Apparently
that's a no-go.
Yeah, well, no, actually, there's been an update on that where, it might be trying to cover their tracks or whatever, but they said that the reason why the name of the tourist coming from Norway, this is a story we're behind on here, so I'm assuming most people know about this, but Norwegian traveler heading into the U.S. got a lot of press earlier in the week because he was supposedly barred access to the U.S. for having memes of J.D. Vance, the vice president of the United States, on his phone. And then later, Customs came out and said that's not why he was barred. He was barred, this according to Snopes, he was barred because he said he had recent drug use.
Well, specifically, so they one of the big things, and I think that one of the things that's not being focused on heavily enough is he says he was threatened with 5 years in jail or a $5,000 fine if he didn't unlock his phone for them. Right? Legally speaking,
That seems like wildly different things.
What you mean, the scale of those things?
Well, if you're choosing door number 1, $5,000, or door number 2, 5 years in jail, take the $5,000 fine.
Well, no, I agree completely, but that also feels very much like if you are wealthy, that's just that it's legal, right? It's legal if you're wealthy because you can just you can pay the $5,000 fine and go about your day. A lot of people can't just write a check for $5,000 and forget about it.
Especially people doing an international travel as a young person, right? They at least have a backpack. It has all of their belongings in it. I think the phrase you're looking for, by the way, is a fine means legal for rich people.
Yeah. So it's that, so I think that is one of the major things about this detainment is he was basically threatened in order to require him to unlock his phone. And then as part of his, I guess, camera roll, whatever, they found these, the baby face meme of JD Vance. And then...
Is that what you call it? Okay.
I think that's what it's called. But then also the... he had an old homemade wood pipe that was in a photo from years ago. What I want to know is where did they find the pipe photo? Look up, do me a favor and open your camera roll right now. I can tell you that I have in my camera roll at this moment 35,000 photos.
Well, if it's an iPhone too, you can actually search by things that are in the image without having text in the image.
You search drugs.
Go on your phone and search for sheep, and it'll pull up photos of sheep. Even though you haven't labeled them or captioned them or done anything special to indicate that they are photos of sheep.
Oh, those are photos of sheep. They're cute sheep.
So there is an ability to look for things. And if they look for drugs or pipes or stuff like that, they could find it. I think the burying of the lead here is that a lot of people were shocked that when you show up at the border, they can access your phone. There were other tourists weighing in on some of the articles that we read that corroborated this, that they give you the choice of $5,000 or 5 years in prison or give us the password to your phone, which is shocking to a lot of people that they can just have access to your phone. When you enter countries, when you go into, border control, you sometimes you're shocked at what they require you to do to enter the country.
Well, and it's a weird thing too, because we would normally expect, right, that when you're in a specific country, you follow the laws of that country while you're in that country, right? That's the expectation. But then you would also be protected by the same laws. Now,
would you though?
Well, I get confused about something like this because if you're at border control, you are physically, like you're standing within land that is within the country, right? But
not really.
But administratively, they're evaluating whether to let you into the country legally, right? Like you are in the country, but you're not in the country yet.
Right.
So I don't know. Does a different set of laws apply? I mean, I'm not sure how that works, to be honest.
Well, it's interesting you say that too, because we were warned, for instance, when we traveled to the UAE, when you're usually traveling to other countries, you're told about all the rules of following their laws for the negative consequences of it. Like for us in the UAE, we were told don't show, because we weren't married at the time, don't show any public affection. If you have any tattoos, cover them. We were even told that if a person approaches us and speaks to us, I should be the only person to speak to strangers, and that you as a woman should not speak to them. Which was, you were making that face you made when they told you that too. It's like, it's not something that you want to hear. On the flip side of that, you hear about those negative consequences. Are you really protected though? Like, do you get the positive aspects of being in the country and the laws of the land? Like, do people who travel to the U.S. have freedom of speech suddenly and that kind of thing?
Well, one would hope so, but that's where it seems to be, the system seems to be potentially falling down right now, right? So I don't know, this whole thing is weird, but I wonder, because this tourist, his name was Mads Mikkelsen. He's a Norwegian tourist.
Oh, right. How bizarre is that, by the way?
Do you think he got pulled aside because they were like, oh my God, look, you guys got Mads Mikkelsen. We're going to ask him some questions. And it turns out it's like the wrong guy. And they're like, fuck you, man.
Fuck you. We're going to
we got catfish.
I went through Mad Mikkelsen's phone today. A bunch of memes and photos of pipes and everything. Yeah, so there's a lot of now governments that are warning people as they come to the U.S., travel advice is bring a burner phone.
Yeah, don't take your phone. Like that's a weird. You would feel like that's a weird thing to have to like warn your people about coming into the U.S., right? Like if you're in the U.S., do you feel weird that people are being warned to bring a burner phone into your country because they're not safe with their phones?
I'll tell you exactly how I feel. It's embarrassing to me that people have to do that in order to travel to the United States, because anyone who has, in my opinion, anything that is actually damaging or nefarious, they probably already have a burner phone. So you're really just warning people who just have stupid memes or are critical of the government or something like that. It's embarrassing to me. To me, that's very un-American. But K-pop Demon Hunters. I did not mean to derail you with that.
No, Bernie, this movie has no business being as good as it is. I've watched it like 2 or 3 times. The music is so catchy. It's so catchy. It's stupid. And I've been talking to Blaine's girlfriend Kristen on Instagram. We're now K-pop Demon Hunter besties because she's the only person I can talk to about all this stuff. So we're just sending memes back and forth. Bernie, I'm miserable. It took them 9 years to make this movie, and I need a sequel tomorrow.
There is a group of ladies that have all formed like a group, and it's like I'm envious being on the outside of that group of personal friends because they seem to be like a cozy group. They all like, what's the cozy fi or whatever it is?
You're talking about like cozy games and stuff. Like,
yeah.
That's all the stuff that we all talk to each other about.
They're very much into cozy content and cozy lifestyle, and I'm a little bit jealous of it. I have to be honest with you.
It's fantastic.
It's not for me. I can tell. But I'm looking in through the window.
You wish you were into it. Well, you'll be happy to know then, Bernie, that K-pop Demon Hunters has been dethroned as Netflix's #1 film.
Oh, what a shame.
By hold on, what's this called? Poop Cruise. Let's see. It's called Trainwreck Poop Cruise. That's the new top film on Netflix.
God. Is that like a Jeff Portnoy movie?
Yeah, no, it's a documentary about
what?
I forgot. Yeah, this is a documentary about this cruise that left Galveston, Texas. This is like a decade ago, like 2013, 14. And it was it's supposed to be a 4 or 5 day cruise from Galveston to Cozumel in Mexico. And then
4, okay.
And
Go ahead.
a fire in the engine room basically destroyed, like they had no engines, they had no electricity, they had no air conditioning, they couldn't cook food. The toilet systems had no power. So hence the title Poop Cruise. And so it's just this like absolute nightmare for like 4,000 people on board, right? That were just stranded on this cruise ship in the middle of the ocean, watching society fall the fuck apart.
I would imagine. Yeah, I never been a cruise person. We've never been on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise in my entire life. Have you?
I haven't. I would love to go on one sometime. The thing that keeps me from doing that is like, oh, everyone gets sick on cruises. And I'm like, I have a child in grade school. Thank you very much. I've already got that covered. I don't need to go on vacation to get that as well. But it seems like it would be a lot of fun to do like one time. But then I see things like this and go, well, perhaps not.
I feel like cruises more than any other form of travel. When you get on a plane or you get on a train or you travel in a car down a highway, your big fear is crash and death. That's your big concern. That's not my big concern with a cruise. Cruise seems to skip the death part and just go straight to the hell. Right? Like, I feel like if the fire had taken over the whole ship, they would have a procedure for evacuating everybody. But if it's just like you're wallowing in hell for 5 or 6 days, or how long this was?
Then they eventually limped to Alabama, I believe.
Oh God, that's a good destination for that. Oh, good news, everybody. We're in Alabama.
Well, and they had to like camp in tents on the deck because there were no air conditioning systems for the rooms, right? So it's just sweltering. They're talking about like urine covered carpets. Absolute mess. But the train wreck of it is like now it's this documentary that everyone is watching.
Also, by the way, trains are like, hey, why are you involving us in this? Right. Don't call it a train wreck. Can we use a new standard for horrible travel experiences besides train wrecks?
Excuse me, our toilets work. Thank you very much.
This is a hell cruise. But it seems like they have all those procedures for potential loss of life, but then it doesn't matter how low your quality of life gets. They don't give a fuck. Like, you're trapped and just like you sign the waiver, you're here. Fuck you.
You're right, but I read so hold on. Let me see the compensation. Everyone got like a refund. You'll be happy to know for their poop cruise and like $500.
A refund. What was the name? The cruise line? Did they name and shame in this?
Oh yeah, it was Carnival. So
it was Carnival.
It was the Carnival Triumph. It was the specific ship. But you'll be happy to know, Bernie, that they have taken that ship out of service. No, just kidding. They renamed it.
What they renamed it?
They renamed it. It's still going. Let me see. The Carnival Triumph is technically still in service today, operating under a different name. It's now the Carnival Sunrise.
I would have named it the Carnival Beelzebub or something like that. Let people know. Lean into it a little bit more. I have said before, I wanted to be at DashCon. I wanted to be at Fire Festival. All of those things.
You don't want to be on the Triumph?
Listen, that's my limits. That is my, like before when I said no animal could kill me, and I said, well, maybe a giant like silverback gorilla. I'm going to exclude that from my list of animals that can't kill me. The Carnival Triumph, that would be the thing.
That would kill you?
I'm glad I wasn't on that one.
Would you just like go overboard just to escape it all?
I wouldn't tell people about that one. You get the 1,000-yard stare when you're talking about it.
But also about movies. Bernie, Ballerina, film I went to see last week. I saw a headline this morning. Bernie, it's already coming to streaming. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, but okay. But I feel like, okay, I get what you're saying there, but I feel like we shouldn't hold that against movies these days.
Well, so look, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing for a lot of consumers, right? Because it's cheaper to watch things on streaming. You don't have to like go somewhere and spend like $1 billion on popcorn and all that stuff to be able to watch it. So for consumers, sure, it's a great thing that the window between something hitting theaters and something getting to home streaming is like getting shorter and shorter. But it's one of those things where it seems like the industry, right, is like in a panic. How do we get people into theaters? How do we do all that? Like, how are we going to keep our box office numbers up? How are we going to keep films profitable so that we can continue to make films? Yeah. All these things. Meanwhile, they are training people to wait them out.
Yeah, I guess so. And I've definitely felt that way before, but also now I kind of feel like if you're going to go see a movie in a theater and you're excited about it, you're going to go see that movie. I do feel like, though, not that Ballerina qualifies, but I do feel like it does make original movies things that you just kind of wait on because you know they're going to go to streaming, and it's only the things that you already have pre-hype for, like a sequel or a Marvel movie or a reboot or something like that, those are the things you say, I've got to see that day one in the theater, otherwise people are going to spoil it for me.
Right. It's like there's no time for movies to have a word of mouth tale.
Yeah, not for theaters, no. But then it's like it's just evolving and changing, right?
Right. And I can see it for some things, like if it's the first film in a franchise where you want to just get more people into the franchise, you want to get more people watching it however you can to sell future installments. I can understand like a shorter window for something like that, right? But this is an entry in an established franchise.
Yeah, also, I wonder too, it's like, I love those like fringe economic indicators too, or just like, the way big systems move. And I wonder if somebody could do a study between like what is the amount of money spent on marketing before a movie comes out that then pushes the window to streaming out further. Because I feel like the less they're spending on marketing up front, the shorter that window is going to be before it goes to streaming. For instance, Ballerina, I didn't really hear that much about it, right? I didn't see much advertising for it or anything like that. If you had told me day one that it was going to go to streaming in a few weeks, I'd be like, I get that, because
you'll be like, okay, great. So I'll see it in 3 weeks. Perfect.
We just have to admit sometimes now that the theatrical run is maybe just itself a marketing campaign for the eventual streaming release.
Maybe that's the way that they're going to have to go with it. It's weird to me that they seem to be like so focused on like, I guess we need to get it onto streaming now to make as much as we can for this quarter, I guess, and hit our quarterly targets, as opposed to like the sort of long-term strategy for the overall industry.
Can I get, I'm pulling this up here on the fly, but while we're talking about fringe things like people spotting things and trends,
yeah,
I read the funniest thing the other day. I read that there's a roller coaster at Disney World. Apparently it's at all the Disney parks where people go to ride this roller coaster. They go to ride this roller coaster, Ashley, if they want to dislodge their kidney stone and pass kidney stones. Let me read this. This is from.
That sounds like fun.
This is from the Wikipedia entry.
That's second only to a Carnival cruise in terms of fun holidays.
Well, first you go on the Carnival cruise, and then you drive from Alabama over to Disney World so that you can cleanse your system, all the toxicity. But it's Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is a mine train roller coaster located at Disneyland, Magic Kingdom, Tokyo Disneyland, and Disneyland Park. Now, I don't know if they're the exact same configuration, but I imagine it's Disney, so they probably just have a template that they just go and they put down the exact same roller coaster with the exact same specification. But here's the weird part. This is from the Wikipedia entry on the roller coaster. In the October 2016 Journal of the American Osteopathic Association, a paper was published. The paper's author, Dr. Wartinger, found that patients of his had passed kidney stones after riding Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Walt Disney World on vacation, including one who passed 3 stones on 3 separate occasions.
Isn't passing like 1 stone supposed to be one of the most painful things that can happen to a human?
Can I tell you something here?
Okay.
I've always heard that. Listen.
Okay.
At this point in my life, I don't think I'm going to get kidney stones, and I don't want to manifest anything. I've always been a little bit curious about it. I've always heard that. I've always been kind of curious.
Yeah,
I've always been kind of curious.
You know what? I feel you. I've always been really curious about, like, I don't know, being burned at the stake as a witch, but not curious enough to try it, okay?
I'm admitting something here. I've always been a little curious. How bad can it really be? Can I stand it? I know if I had one of those, there are people who are listening to this who have had kidney stones who go, you shut your fucking mouth right now. Because apparently, have you seen these things when they get up close? They look like
sea urchins.
Yeah, or like these like crystal geodes. They look awful.
Absolutely horrendous. So someone passed 3 of the wait. So
listen to this.
Someone's passed 3 stones on 3 separate occasions by riding the Big Thunder Mountain roller coaster.
The doctor then tested this result with the permission of Disney. This is according to the paper, with a 3D model of a kidney by riding the ride over 20 times. The study found that nearly 70% of the time, the kidney stone was passed, with results varying depending on which row of the roller coaster they were sitting in.
Let me guess. The further back you are, the more successful it is. Like, you get in the back of the roller coaster and you're getting, like, whipped around.
Right.
It's, like, extra violent.
And you got a better chance of passing if you hold your hands up in the air and go, woo! The study also found that Space Mountain and Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith failed to cause this result.
How much do you want to be part of this study, right? They're like, do you have kidney stones and really enjoy badass roller coasters? Come join our scientific study now.
It would be awesome if you actually got Aerosmith on the roller coaster to pass the kidney stones. It's a good thing, right, to pass kidney stones. You want to get rid of them.
I mean, look, you don't want to have a kidney stone, but if you have the kidney stone, you want to get rid of the kidney stone, right? So you could, I don't know, go see a doctor or do whatever they do to make you pass those things, or you could just spend all your money on a trip to Disney World. Just please put all your JD Vance memes away,
right?
All right, before traveling, and then allegedly, and then bam, there you go.
Do you think it was
treatment
because of the memes, or do you think it was? Do you think they're covering their tracks with this drug thing?
I'm probably a little bit of both.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, they are saying it's like they do check phones for any comments against the current administration. That's insane to me.
Like, buddy, do you have any idea how many pictures of my lock screen you're going to find? Because that's like what I feel like half my camera roll now is just like accidental screenshots of my lock screen.
A selfie of the inside of my pocket. But I want to be clear for our listeners, if they do want to pass some kidney stones by going to the correct Disney World, then make sure you go to Disney World, because that's where the paper was published. We cannot at all guarantee the medical results if you go to Disneyland Paris or something like that.
But if you do a scientific study comparing the results of kidney stones on the various Thunder Mountain rides across the entire suite of Disney parks, please send us a link to the paper. I'm not going to participate, but I'm fascinated by the results. I want to know if the Disneyland Paris will also take care of my medical conditions, or is it only Orlando?
Give us a new meaning to the term Fast Pass. My bad puns these days. All my dad jokes.
All right.
Can I reveal something else, since I'm revealing all this dumb shit about myself today?
You may.
You're not going to believe this, but you were just talking about Ballerina going to streaming.
Yes.
Recently, I was talking about 28 years later, and, whether or not they'll for sure get another movie. And people came out and said to me, I don't think Burnie realizes they've already shot the sequel to 28 years later. In this world, you're not guaranteed anything. In this modern media world, you're not guaranteed of anything.
Just because they've shot it, just ask Batgirl.
Ashley, Past Me is coming back to redeem me at this moment. Because I just got a 1 week in advance alert coming up in 7 days. This is like the pettiest thing of all time. I'm going to own this, though.
Okay, go ahead.
Coming up in 7 days is the 1 year anniversary of the post on our subreddit by user Toadfire. Hi, Toadfire. How you doing? 1 year ago, minus 7 days, you posted, I don't think Burnie knows that Horizon Chapter 2 has already been filmed and comes out in a few weeks. Lol. Well, guess what, pal? Chapter 2 of Horizon, an American Saga, has not yet come out because it was pulled from theaters.
And as far as we know, nowhere to be seen.
How
at the
timely
moment,
is
right?
that?
Hold on. When is Horizon 2 coming out? When is Horizon Chapter 2 coming out?
Now, Toadfire, take your L. I'm so petty. I put that in my calendar.
According to the AI search results, Chapter 2 came out the 7th of September, 2024.
Yeah, did it? It was so enjoyable. Last I heard about Horizon American Saga Chapter 2, it was at one of the French film festivals, received an 11-minute standing ovation, and that's the last anyone has ever heard of Chapter 2.
An article from Town and Country magazine that was dated May 7th, 2025, says, so far no dates have been announced as to when Chapter 2 will debut.
No, so it's just stuck there.
Got no dates. It's in limbo.
Maybe Kevin Costner should go ride a roller coaster at Disney World to dislodge that thing.
Get it unstuck.
So I'd imagine then that Chapter 3 and 4, it was slated for 4, right? That was the big plan.
Yeah, I think so.
And he was going to find funding. But I think 28 years later is in the same kind of boat where they have the second one in the can, essentially. But they're looking for some kind of zeitgeist momentum in order to get 3 funded. So it's just like, man, how can you write an open-ended story at this point in time?
Well, it's doing well, though. I mean, let's see. Box Office Mojo says that worldwide, so far, it's done $68 million. I don't know what the budget on it was, but it's
Did we
doing
talk about
fine.
they shot it with iPhones?
Yeah, there was that thing that they shot. It was like 5, like a rig where they had a bunch, like 5 iPhones or something like that, where they shot parts of the movie that way.
Even like the solo rig itself, you would look at this thing and go, there's an iPhone somewhere in that thing. I talk to Matt about this on a regular basis. If we had this 4K camera that I carry around in my pocket, if we'd have had that for our first movie. Holy shit.
Would be an absolute game changer. I mean, you wouldn't have had to be like counting the seconds of film you shot.
Yeah, and I guess it has led to a filmmaking revolution with like YouTube and shorts and everything else. But it's not quite what I thought it was going to be. Like if everyone had access to a camera. Like I talked to Gavin of like slow-mo guys. And then, you know, it's not just the technology that makes that thing happen. That's another example of when you talk about AI, like, oh, look at these tools that are coming that are going to change everything. I would talk to Gavin about slow-mo guys and his approach with these incredibly high-speed cameras. I said eventually everyone's going to be able to have these incredibly high-speed cameras. You know what the weird thing is?
What?
That did happen where people can do like, you know, 2,500 frames or something like that, not the 300,000 or whatever he can do. Something that can, film a light particle traveling or something. But now I'm starting to see like a lot of things, people are doing celebrity AI slow motion videos. Like they're taking celebrities, and this sounds more violent than what it is, but they do a thing where a celebrity's doing like an interview and that boxing glove comes in from the side in super
like
slow motion.
Punches someone in the side of the face.
It sounds, what I just described sounds very violent. When you see it, it doesn't feel as violent as what you think. It's more so the dynamics of someone's face demorphing or something like that.
That's one of the reasons I think Gavin said that he doesn't really film a lot of like people in slow motion, right? Like it's like people look weird in slow motion.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's something when you see that kind of thing, like you see someone get hit in slow motion or you see like, a collision or something like that. It's disturbing how fluid, how bendy, how much something can just like disshape.
Gooey.
Yeah, almost
or
like gooey.
Like
Like things only remember they have a form at speed, right? But in slow motion, that's flexible.
It's like Bender on Futurama always calls humans meat sacks. And it's like, yeah, we're kind of meat sacks, aren't we? That's kind of what we are. But yeah, so I always, the slow-mo stuff is always the super fluid stuff, either fire or water. Those are always like so impressive to watch. And a lot of stuff people like to watch stuff break or shatter and things like that. If it's water in it, man, I will watch that every single time.
For me, it's fascinating to see something like glass break, right? Where it's something that or like a lightning strike in like super duper, like things that you see and they happen in an instant. It's like it was one way and now it's another way. Like there was almost no transition between the two. And if you can slow it down enough to see that transition, fascinating.
It's like it exists in such a time base that is removed from your default time base that it might as well not exist, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
The scale of time is one that's such that things can happen, but for you, they didn't actually happen because they happened in a completely different time base. That's always been fascinating.
Well, the good news is, Bernie, we have a weekend coming up. It is Friday. And so if we all get really, really lucky, we can just slow time down so much that this weekend will extend for all time.
Time dilation.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way to Monday.
Let's figure out how to make that work.
We have one of our kiddos going into summer break, and I do want to pause for a second and say congratulations to my oldest son, JD. The reason I was on the road yesterday is I attended his university graduation. So while we're talking about time dilation, those of you who have followed Rushid over the years, hearing that JD is now graduated fully from his ceremony from university, is done with his education, that's going to be shocking to you. That's where I was. And it was immense pride watching him walk across the stage with honors. I got to say that as a parent, I'm just so proud of him. Man.
Great seeing him on that stage.
Nice.
And it was nice, too, because he didn't get a chance to walk his high school graduation because of the pandemic. So I'm so happy that he got this walk.
It was fantastic. So congratulations to JD, and I'm going to enjoy this weekend and bask in the fact that I got one kid who's on his own now. I should say that because Teddy was out before him, so because of trade school. But yeah, 2 kids out, so we're halfway done, Ash.
And oh boy, and a big shout out as well to Magri and Richard Palmer. Thank you both so much for sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morningsomewhere.
All right, well that does it for us today, June 27th, 2025. We will be back to talk to you on Monday. We hope you will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.